Hi, YouTube. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing pretty good, not too bad. We might have some interruptions to work through, but I had a feeling that somebody was like bored. Maybe you want to know what's going on in my mind today. Oh, I ran across a super intelligent individual, and he had a live stream. And I don't want to disrespect anybody's decades of work, but this guy was like um, talking about age and how women are like more vain about it, basically. He said it twice than men are. And I'm thinking, look at all the plastic surgery and men dyeing their hair and their beards and, you know, all that type of thing. I think I just froze for a few seconds, but anyway. And so I finally wrote, I said, when he said it the second time, I'm like, no, I don't have a problem with getting old. Then I wrote, I love being 66. I do, you know? And I'm thinking, well, here is this 50 something year old. And and then another woman had written to him that her husband is a plumber and he says he's probably going to be 96-year-old plumber still on his knees. And I was going to write Doug 74 out on his tractor, you know. And I like just got through with my push-ups and leg raisers and whatever, today. And here is this very unhealthy 50-year-old and this person typically when somebody says something and they're hurting inside, I'm going to respond to them and try and make them feel better. But I am getting sick of these middle-aged men that think that every older woman is just a cougar when I just actually scientifically wanted to connect with this person and their channel and their community because of the science that's involved and the language that this guy is into both aspects of things that interest me, you know. And so I'm thinking of the generation gap that there is because of these people that will um either like if they're young and they're gigolos and they're looking after older money or what they call like a gold digger, or you have perverted, they call like dirty old men. And now that what they softened it up and called these dirty bitches cougars. No, they're not cougars. They're pe- it's the pedo word. The, I'll use Greek leistes, or um uh another word for pirate is a trafficker, you know. But anytime there's like a decade between somebody, or this is my opinion, it's not an opinion, it's an actual life experience, that just because somebody's older doesn't mean uh that they're going to be good for a younger person. It's typically unacceptable in the eyes of the younger person, and like in an arranged marriage back in the days or whatever, where these girls were forced to be with dirty old men or whatever. But nowadays it's like a woman my age, like what, with a 20, 30, 40, or even a 50-year-old, you nasty and things. That's what's on my mind today. Being treated like shit because of my age and stifling the knowledge I have. I get so fucking pissed sometimes, and I wasn't pissed last night, but sometimes I do get so angry. when I'm trying to get stuff out to the public and I'm stifled, or my material is taken and used in other areas like I never even spoke it, you know? That's that's what's on my mind today, you know? No, you hear like in Plato's Cave, um, talk about the Lucian Fields. And actually, is that biblical? Is that pre-Bible? Is it real? Uh, what are people's thoughts on that? And to you, yeah, what's the meaning of that to you? I would wonder if you know anything about it. Just curious. I've heard people mention and it's like, I don't remember seeing you there. How's that for a snotty? And I don't know if the person I'm thinking of will watch me, but yeah. And then if it's somebody that I did see there, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones that pretend they know what that is. Cheers, everybody. Anyway, and if you don't know, all I can say is maybe get a copy of maybe PFD of Plato's Cave and read it for yourself. That there's hidden meanings in there for I'll just say it, uh mystery religions that have nothing to do with satanic bullshit, and that's all I can tell you. And like for those with ears to hear, people love saying that and nice to see. Yeah, right. Stupid. Boy, when you could advance society in leaps and bounds by sharing information with people, like if they have a bigger channel or something, and you could actually talk freely and get in a free flowing conversation with somebody that um the spirit of God could be drawn out of me in that natural conversation, and I could let loose some knowledge on people, but I'm stifled and then I get pissed and then it's like, ew, you're to me you look like a chimpanzee. These people that have scientific charts that were passed on through the Illuminati bloodlines, and then learn this stuff like it's gospel fact of the mechanics of this environment we live in, and then pass it on to other people like that is sound knowledge, nothing else. That's it. There's no way I can intervene and get something else in there because stupid just has to be stupid. And I'm so sick of the generation gap, and I am so sick of younger men treating me like I'm some kind of cougar, and then you wonder why I threaten you. You fucking don't wonder, you know, and then you try to make excuses for yourself and paint me with your filthy shit. You stupid little curse. Anyway, yeah. I guess maybe should I speak my mind? Shit. Anyway, it is irritating. I'm not flattered one bit at anybody's pretense of attention when all they want to do is get money from people on their channel. You don't fucking impress me like that. What would impress me is an actual conversation scientifically. But then we don't want to bring God into the science, do we? It's not his science. It's everybody else's, and they know far more about it that they would leave the creator of that science out of the whole thing. or somebody that has messages like that. Yeah, I see what people are doing, you know, shutting down what's totally natural in the world for their unnatural bullshit. And then they whine about how lonely and fat and ugly they are. Well, stop being that way. You do it to yourself. Only reason I would be lonely is because I'm searching for somebody with a big enough brain to keep up. And I don't have charts. I don't need them. Or I should say somebody with a big enough soul or heart, however you want to. Yeah, they're rare, very rare. In fact, I've met some rather stupid people that have good hearts, so I guess you don't have to strive to learn anything, but just be a good person. Might be good and stupid, but you're good. Why learn anything new? You're so good at what you do. Anyway, yeah. I shared a really good myth vision on my community yesterday, and Lady Babylon was really good last night. I mean, when pinpointing language and the chronology and etymology of them, the words, the word. Yeah. And we all we're aspiring Hebrews. We're Judaism. We all aspire to be Jewish. I bet all the red people in the United States want to be Jewish. You know, all the Swedes, they want to be Jewish too. Some of them are anyway, but you know, that's another story. Don't get me started on Mongolia or China, God forbid. The way the bloodlines traveled around this planet, people would be so amazed. I mean, you really got to get deep into the history and not follow what has been written academically just for mainstream. Dig down deep in there and find other like minds that are in agreement outside of the established institutes. That's what people have to do if you want the truth of the situations. You're never going to get there any other way. Think about this. There's Masonic lodges all over the planet. Tiny little towns, like 6,000 people. There'll be a lodge. It doesn't matter if it's here or in Singapore or Norway or Denmark or Australia, Africa. It does not matter. Then think about the religions in those places that I just mentioned. Um, Ancient religions, ancient traditions, and that type of thing. And then think about the Masons being in control of every aspect of those societies with one head figure that controls that whole spider web of everything all over the planet. God does his from the outside, but the other one does it from the inside. And that's where your free will comes into play. But people aren't seeing the initial outside energy that gives all that the ability to even think, you know? And then when you have the ability to think, you shut yourself off, not just from the truth, but the actual science of that truth right behind it, right down to the languages. And language is such a flipping science. It's the Biggest one, Tower of Babel, baby, right back there. And the reason for that, if you can think of scribes sitting down and actually bringing gematria and the science into languages in different parts of the world, and everything numerology fits. It just fits. It doesn't matter where you go with those numbers when something's set like that. It's just so freaky. And it's an art, it's a science, you know, and it's been manipulated by the dark force. They start at one when the actual beginning is zero. It's a fact. So think of all the numbers. Um, even well, anyway, if everything leads back to zero and it cannot be added onto itself, that's the beginning. That's where a lot of people go wrong in mathematics, and that's what the dark force uses against people, is their lack of understanding of the actual science of mathematics, how formulas are written in science with that, with letters and numbers to make um, formulas, to figure formulas. You can't figure a formula if you're starting out with the wrong aspect of the whole thing. It's a fact. I'm just irritated at that. I mean, I'm having a happy day, but I played a lot of music. Somebody had mentioned they wanted to hear me sing. Maybe, I mean, I sang today, but not for everybody, but started out Tina Turner's I Can't Stand the Rain. I was singing that in my head when I went outside and came back in and started playing some music, you know. Window, window pane, you know. Anyway, so I was singing it to Doug, and then I decided to play it because I get kind of goofy anyway when I'm singing. I don't know. Um, Not when I was getting paid to play on a stage. Then I couldn't be goofy. But otherwise, it's sort of my nature, you know. Most fun I ever had, I didn't get paid and I wasn't singing. But the drummer had gotten sick at they were going to close up and just leave. And I was dancing. It's like, you can't just go. Everybody's having fun. So I started drumming, you know, so carried the show. That was fun. I love drumming too, so I play a few instruments. So yeah, that was fun. At least everybody else had to have fun, and I did get a workout. That's kind of what I was going for that night anyway, was to get out of the house and get some exercise. And Doug and I had went up to this just 4 miles away from us, and they had a light. Oh no, it wasn't there. It was in a town about 20 miles away from us. Yeah, called Lee's. So anyway, yeah. Cheers, everybody. I was thinking about getting a drum set and setting it up in the house here. Um, Doug had a tendency a lot of times to stay up really late, and sort of like it didn't matter if I was working or not. So I thought maybe I'd just bust that out in the mornings or something. But I did have mercy. But I thought about it. I used to love, I was going to this one private school. They had a stage and two sound rooms on each one of the stages, and I could go in and put like a record on in my headset and play along with some like phenomenal bands, and learn different techniques and stuff. And when I got something down just freaking perfect, I'd love it, or added something. It's like, wow, okay, I learned something new, that type of thing. That was fun. Or a friend of mine and we would just play our folk guitars in that school a lot, even in the church, which was, we picked some good songs to sing to those Catholic nuns and that priest, those priests, I should say. There was like one big Humpty Dumpty and his two little scrambled eggs and all their little chicks. So, anyway, for all you Catholics out there, or I know one of my subs, I don't know if he's subbed, but I do know that he watches me occasionally. Friend of Doug's, and his wife is Catholic, and if y'all watching me, it is what it is, you know. Lot of child predation going on in them Zionist Abrahamic religion churches, for sure. And it's never ended. Just a bunch of cover up, and it's just a bunch of conditioning to make the next generation of people as willfully pliable with their billfolds than they have been in the past. So, they're loving God. And yeah, God does love us, but not like that. There's no man on this planet that can forgive you and absolve you of your sins. Think what you want, but that is not ever put in the hands of a mortal on this planet. A mortal man. No way. The closest you're going to come to that is your mother. She's going to forgive you. Maybe. Maybe not, right? Is that in the rule book? Do we have to forgive our kids when they're bad? I don't think so. I think that is their free will, you know? What if you could give them a head start, but they were too stupid to let you? I've just been running across that so much. I sure have. Anyway, I don't know. I really do detest younger people that don't even get to know older people. I've ran across that ever since I was a kid. It started for me, even the desire to work in retirement homes like I have in hospitals started with my campfire group when I was a kid. When we were still, before we were campfire girls, we were bluebirds. And our bluebird group went in and sang and read and paid attention to some of the elderly people in this nursing home called Queens Nursing Home. And then after a while, like on my way home from church on Sundays, I'd pop in just on my own without that group and ask the administrator if I could visit with some of the people. And please excuse my water pump. Doug just turned on. He doesn't know I'm videoing, so, but it'll be okay in about a minute. So anyway, when I see people and their ignorance like that, um, I mean, these people were, a lot of them were immobile, or wheelchair bound or whatever. But I'm far from that. I'm ready to like spar with anybody that's into martial arts. So, I mean, I'm not quite ready to just roll over and play dead quite yet, you know. And for the record, for these ones that can't control themselves, their sexual urges, I've been excellent at that my entire adult life. When I was a child, well, I had a few goofy problems. I was raised really strangely, but once I got older, and then I looked around me and I saw the way other people were acting. Ooh, talk about a turnoff. I don't let anybody touch me, and it's very rare if I would even give anybody a hug or shake their hand, and I've always been like that. So I'm very selective in every aspect of my life. And these people, these men, middle aged men, treat me like that. It's like, listen, um, dumpling, plumpling, you know, I'm not wanting you like that. I have my pick in the world about any time I want. I don't play that, you know. So let me swear here for a second. 10 your ears, put your hands over your ears. So fuck off with your shit. You're fucking infantile and it you make me sick like that. And you really do. When you stifle a person in their intelligence for your own ego and then try and paint women like, oh, we're so worried about getting old. Shut the fuck up, you stupid little. You're talking out of your wrong orifice. And that's a big deal. It really is. When this person, oh, well, my fat little bald ugly self, he says this like almost every video I've watched. Like, it doesn't matter if it's science or what it is. He'll go to sit down, sits down, complains about himself, fishing for compliments. He's got some pretty eyes, and he said they were green. They looked sort of blue. I don't know. Yeah, you got pretty eyes, if that's all you got, because your brain isn't working in the right area. And I do have a thing about people's eyes. I think most everybody's eyes are just beautiful most of the time. I met some beady eyed monsters, that's for sure. So, but really, this dude's like fishing for compliments and then insults women on a live stream. And that one older woman, I assume about my age or something, wrote something. And it's like, just don't even bother. It isn't going to help because this fathead is stuck in his bubble. But you really need to like do a 30-day challenge, push-up challenge. 30 push-ups, 30 days. Just start there. That'll help. And I know he said he didn't have time to make homemade ginger ale because I had suggested it. I'm going to. I found a recipe I'm going to try. I don't usually drink soda, but I get in my moods. So I thought, why not make it healthy for me? Just make a ginger syrup. It's ginger and sugar. 1 cup sugar, 1 cup water, and a bunch of ginger peeled and sliced, put in there, boil it down, strain it, and add it to tonic water. Boom, you're done. So I'm going to be trying that one of these days. I made some a long time ago, and when we were kids, we used to. I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember these, but we had these little tabs of it was either root beer or cola or cherry, and you got a glass of water. This shit was terrible. But and then you drop this tablet in there and it would fizz, and then you drink it. Oh, oh, that was some. I think there might have been orange too and grape. I don't know. It came in a pack of like 5 or 6 different flavors, and you just drop the tab in the water. Oh, that was horrible stuff. Wow. Or like when my kids were young, remember them pop rocks, and then they'd put them in soda and not, well, I think my kids did outside, but not in the house. Anyway, that was kind of a thing that kids were doing. So anyway, I just wanted to express my feelings, and I have before, on this generation gap bullshit, and it really has a lot to do with the older generation acting like stupid and not straightening shit up for the younger ones. And I'm here to straighten these younger ones up. Grow the fuck up. Stop the generation gap, or your kids are going to be as stupid as you are, and you're going to be missing out on all the intelligence you could gather from an older community, and accepting people in your community with dignity and honor and respect that they deserve. So I might as well just blow it all out on the line and tell you to go f yourself, because that's how I feel about it. You're stupid. You're acting like an infant. So, and you bring my Tourette's out, if that's what we're gonna call it today. So I'm gonna get this uploaded. I do appreciate you joining me, and it really is a big deal. If I treated younger or older people dirty, I wouldn't even, I would have no respect for myself, because I'd be demeaning a person like that just because of their age or their gender or whatever. You're just stupid like that, people. Stop it. There's some little children that have bigger brains than a lot of people. And there's some people that think they have awfully big brains, but they're as thick as a brick in a lot of ways, and they won't excel spiritually because of that. And that's where I start getting pissed. Like, you don't even give person a chance. You just shut them down before they can even express what's going to help everybody. And for that reason, it just, ugh, pisses me off. So, all right, everybody. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.